G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, back at it again with another episode of r/LegalAdvice. Now, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and join my amazing community. You should also head on over to my subreddit r/Markee and post your own stories if you'd like to share them on this channel. With that out of the way, I'd love for you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and get ready for some good content. And yes, we'll do our best to avoid the cliffhangers. Our first story by Gustavio. I had a $10,000 package stolen using only its tracking number. So I'm in PA, the thief is in Michigan, and the shipper was DHL International. My total cost for the packages was just over $10,000, with a retail value of close to $30,000. So not just a typical Amazon package, unfortunately. I have a company that buys from China and sells in the USA. It's pretty basic. Well, I had a package that was supposed to be delivered on the 1st of the 22nd, 2020, but only received part of it. Me and the DHL guy know each other well, as I constantly have packages coming, and he even said to me, "Hey, we had more boxes, one singular shipment with your name, but they were redirected, and I thought no big deal, must be a small mistake." It turns out someone got a hold of my tracking number and rerouted the delivery to their own address. This person doesn't even know my name or phone number or address, so I don't know how this was even allowed by DHL. I have been trying to contact this person, the thief, for a month, with no answers. I have his address, name, phone, etc., and he has also ignored the Chinese supplier. The Chinese supplier is a good friend of mine and already agreed to remake the order, so I'm not at a total loss, other than having no products to sell for a month. DHL has tried to recover the packages for almost a month now, with no answer from him. I'm 99% sure what happened was my supplier gave him my tracking number on accident, and that's how he got it. After speaking with DHL, I can confirm my legal name was on the package up until he signed for it. He signed with his last name, not mine, so the names didn't even match, which I believe to be another fault by DHL. And DHL also confirmed the person called and made a change of address. Luckily, this isn't something that is crippling my business. I'm only 21 and have never been involved with any legal stuff, but I'm pretty upset with this guy. DHL is basically giving up trying to recover the package after tomorrow, and they have expressed my support if I decide to press charges against this guy, which I will gladly do. I'm not certain of the charges, but I assume mail fraud. Theft/possession of stolen goods over a certain amount are on the table. Where should I start? Call his local PD? Do I call my PD? Do I need a lawyer? What kind of lawyer would handle this? Is it even worth my time doing this? I'm not looking to get any money back going this legal route. I'm mostly just looking to put this guy in jail, to be honest. Thanks to everyone in advance. And there's an update. I've called both PDs, just waiting now. I really appreciate the help. I can't promise I'll leave this post up, just because the notifications are starting to get crazy, and people are commenting on my older posts, nothing bad, and it just freaks me out lol. Edit, yes the shipment was bongs. No, bongs are not illegal. Yes, I know Tommy Chong went to jail for them. The laws have changed since 2003. Ration AI says, call your local PD and get that report in stone. DHL is not your friend. They are trying to avoid a lawsuit. Don't forget that. Then call a civil lawyer ASAP. They will guide you through this and help you to obtain evidence that can be used in both civil and criminal cases. 7 or Soda says, you likely have a drop address, fake name, and random VoIP number. Start with local PD. Did you happen to have insurance on it? All the info was real. This was more a crime of opportunity. Then they're an idiot and you have a much better chance at prosecution. Good luck. Thanks. And as for now, they just basically said that it was lots of bongs, doesn't need to be considered art, it's legal products, yada yada yada. If there is a further update from here, I will go and find it and put it on one of the next future episodes. Usually these early posts never really get an update, as happens on Legal Advice often. Anyway, next story. My husband has been secretly recording me and us. What can I do? California. Besides leave, of course, but any advice on how to do that would be appreciated if that's okay to ask here. My husband and I have been married for 2 years. We have a newborn baby. I just found out that he's secretly been recording me in the shower, on the toilet, and other private situations, as well as recording us having sex and then uploading them to various porn sites. Some of his porn site content is behind a paywall, so I assume he's making money off of this. I was never made aware and didn't consent, and would never consent to something like that. To say I'm horrified would be an understatement. I'll add that I tried to have a conversation with him about this, and he was extremely defensive even with the evidence. Legally, what can I do? Is this a police matter or something to discuss with a divorce lawyer only? If I can't get these removed, how likely is this to affect me going forward? There were no attempts to obfuscate my identity, and he gave my first name to commenters. Not our last name though. In California, this is a police matter. You can report the crime along with whatever evidence you may have. It seems likely you should consult a divorce attorney in addition to the police, particularly about finding any hidden assets in the divorce. And now, an update to the story. Mini update on my husband secretly recording me. Not much of an update, but I did want to let people know that I followed their advice and have consulted with a divorce attorney. I've been staying with my mum while I get my ducks in a row, which is not that suspicious to him as my mum and I are close. I'm trying to be careful because truthfully, I don't know how he'll react. So I've been taking small steps. Baby is fine. I'm also compiling as much evidence as I can for the police to make a report. There's a lot more than I thought there was, and frankly, I'm overwhelmed. Fortunately, most of the sites have been helpful, and the IT guy I hired to help me with the technical stuff has been nothing but empathetic, professional, and helpful, and that eases some of the pain. Thank you all again. I know this is not a huge update, but it's going to be a long process, and I wanted to say thanks. And that's all we have on this one so far. That was posted 5 days ago. I'm sure there will be an update in the future. In our next post, Carvana sold me a car with an engine that didn't belong in it. I'll try to keep this semi-short. 3 months ago, I bought a car from Carvana, took out a $16,000 loan to do it, used with barely any miles. Carvana guarantees no cars they sell have been in accidents, have all been inspected, and gives me a copy of the report, including a paper that says no work has been done, a 100-day guarantee as well. A week ago, my car breaks down. After taking it to Carvana, I'm told it needs to be worked on at the car dealership. Welp, come to find out, my car does not have the original engine or the right engine for my model of car. Not only that, but after tracing the VIN, it's found out that my car has been in an accident before I got it. The mechanic literally said to me, if this car has been inspected at all, you could see it did not have the original bumper, or at least it would have been worked on. Carvana refuses any responsibility, claims that I'm technically under warranty, but since it was almost up, I could have done that to the car myself in those 90 days. I have no car now, no way to get to work, and I am making payments still. I've contacted a lawyer, but I'm still wondering, is there any chance they can get away with this? Update, thank you everyone for the advice. They just called me and said basically, oh yeah, this is bad, we need to get you a new car, and offered me a car of equal value. Definitely gonna have it inspected ASAP from an outside inspector. This was after a week of them telling me, good luck, so sad, so needless to say, I'm relieved. Now, this next story doesn't have a completed update, but it is very popular, and it's got a lot of good information, even in the comments. So I'm gonna read this one, and as a forewarning to you guys, yes, it's not complete yet. MD. Lady is convinced that she owns our house. She tried to evict us, and is now sending her mail here to falsify proof of evidence. Help please? Background. My husband and I bought a house in 2016 from a bank, as it had foreclosed upon the previous owner. About a year after we moved in, the previous owner showed up at our front door and tried to push past my sister to get into the house, saying she owned it. She left after threatening to call the police, but showed up 4 to 5 more times over the next 1.5 years, doing the same thing. She brought the police herself once, and they told her to leave once we showed him our contracts from closing on the house. He said that if she came back, it would be considered trespassing, and included in his paperwork that she wasn't welcome on the property. Fortunately, she hasn't been back since then. We invested in a Ring doorbell and security cameras near each door after the first 2 visits. After that, she brought us to housing court in 2018 to try to evict us from the own house that we own. Yeah. But did not show up because she put our address down as her own in the paperwork, therefore never received the notice to appear since her copy was mailed to us. Fortunately, we have title insurance and they send a lawyer to represent us for free, and the judge dismissed the case with prejudice. About a year later, she did the exact same thing, but showed up to court saying she has a certified deed to the house so she owns it. The same lawyer represented this time, and the judge dismissed it again. The mail part. A bit over a year ago, we began receiving her monthly phone bill in the mail. She didn't just forget to change the address after she moved. There was 2-3 year gap, with no mail in her name. So my husband brought a few of them, unopened, to the post office, explained what had been going on, and they said they'd take care of it. Then, in summer 2019, the key to our mailbox no longer worked. It turned out she brought her deed to the post office, said she lost her key, and asked them to change the lock and give her a new key. Fortunately, when my husband realized the key didn't work, he went to the post office and was able to intercept before they gave her the new key. So I don't really believe she actually gained access to the mailbox. During this time, the cell phone bills never stopped, and we've been receiving more mail in her name from a radiology office, the Motor Vehicles Association, and other random non-spam items. I worry she's trying to do the same thing again, have mail sent to our address, steal it somehow, and attempt to use it to prove residency. My husband said when he told the post office manager what had been happening, they would report it, but we haven't heard anything at all. And as I mentioned, the mail in her name has increased since then. I tried to call the post office inspector's hotline, but it went to voicemail and I've never gotten a response from any voicemail I left them. I'm just kind of at a loss of what my next move should be. I just want this mess to be over. And so a few of these comments were pure gold, really. Sir Wired says, you may want to also tape a notice to the inside of your mailbox stating, so-and-so not at this address, all mail for so-and-so refused. And any mail that does get delivered, write address unknown, and scribble out at least part of the handling barcode. Good to know, awesome. We've been keeping stacks and periodically bringing them to the post office. I guess it felt like having proof of the mail fraud she's attempting or something. But it sounds like there's no point, may as well just send them back and leave a mailbox notice. For evidence of all this crap she's getting addressed to you, sign up for the informed delivery service offered by the USPS. Every morning, you'll get an email with black and white pictures of all machinable mail destined for you that day. Non-machinable would be magazines and catalogs and similar. And just here for the pic 1776 says, contact a lawyer that has represented you and keep them up to date. File another police report, and you can go online to the USPS to report that so there is at least a paper trail. Awesome, thanks. We have a few police reports, from trying to force her way past my sister, and a different time where she camped out in the car all night, blocking my car in the parking spot, basically scoping out the house overnight. I can try to request them and submit the items to the USPS. Just to respond to the deleted comment asking what she wants, I have no idea what her intention is/was. That's part of what's stressful. We haven't heard from her since the last time she brought us to court almost a year ago, but the mail has increased, so we feel like this isn't over. I saw the car idling behind mine before bed the night before, but didn't realize it was her in the dark. I assumed it was just a neighbor's guest or someone being picked up/dropped off. When we woke up around 6 AM the next morning, she was still there sleeping in the driver's seat, which is when I realized how creepy it was. We began the paperwork for the restraining order, but got caught up in other life junk, and didn't get around to submitting it. I definitely should have made that more of a priority at the time. The things didn't seem so bad in isolation since they were like 6 to 8 months apart, but now that I list them all in one thread, ... Spooky. And I hope this was enough of a huge post to pique your guys' interest, If there is another update in the next coming weeks, I will definitely post it and link it back to this episode, if at all possible. I for one wouldn't want someone stalking me like that and trying to force their way into my own property. I can get it, but probably this is just a huge case of delusion for this woman. What do you guys think down in the comments below? Like, another story was talking about how someone might have had bipolar. Could be bipolar, could be insane delusion. Maybe this is 4D chess, this is a big scam. I wouldn't have a clue. Our next post. My dead mum's ex-boyfriend won't leave our house, and the police won't help. I feel like I'm in great danger. And this post is real. I just saw she posted 2 weeks ago about her mum overdosing, so rest in peace. Sorry if this post is jumbled so much. I'm running off of 4 hours sleep, and am still in panic mode. For some backstory, I'm a 20-year-old female, and I've just gotten a place with my mum about 2 months ago. She did a lease to own contract, and was the only one on the lease. She had relapsed after being clean for over a year, and accidentally overdosed and passed away about 3 weeks ago. Her boyfriend had moved in with us, even though I never liked or trusted him when I first met him a few months ago. Turns out they had relapsed together, and he had lied to me about knowing if she had. He showed up high as hell to her funeral, literally nodding off at her casket, and it was so bad that everyone told him he needed to leave. He's been texting me crazy crap like he's drinking and driving, hit a semi and is high. He's on parole, so I called his parole officer to try and speed up the eviction process as safely as possible. I guess in Utah, you need a 30-day eviction notice, so the detective on my mum's case said it would be best to call him. Well, the parole officer didn't do crap. I made it very clear that I felt I was in danger, and I feel in fear for my life. This morning, at around 5 AM, I woke up to a car honking consistently right outside my house. I was so tired that I thought it was morning and someone was honking to pick somebody up. It kept happening for about 5 minutes, so I finally rolled over and realized it was dark outside. After that, I heard a huge bang come from my mum's room, like a dresser or something had fallen. I opened the door and saw my mum's light on and heard her boyfriend in there moaning and talking super loud. I literally thought he was in there having an orgy or something. My roommate called her mum since she lives down the street and also had a concealed carry. She came over here, ran up the stairs, and basically told him to get the frick out. He had 2 huge bumps on his head and was bleeding from his mouth and kept saying, "I've been hit." But he was just super screwed up on drugs. He said that he had been doing meth and heroin. She told him to pack his crap and get out, and I called the police. Turns out the honking was some chick in his car, high as hell, freaking the hell out. The police got here and did nothing. They didn't arrest him, and they didn't take his car. They just left and didn't do anything. I'm genuinely terrified for my life. I lost my aunt to domestic violence a few years back, and this is exactly what went down. Please help. Now there's some suggestions in the comments. Well, first, sorry about your mum. Secondly, I'm not sure why the detective would refer you to the parole officer regarding an eviction. They literally have nothing to do with that process. What you probably should talk to the parole officer about, or show him evidence of in texts, is anything regarding drug use or criminal activity, and maybe he could violate him in some way. Ooh, what the? Since the leasee is deceased, this sounds like something you would need to discuss with the landlord, because neither of you are on the lease at this point. So who can really evict whom, since you two are technically roommates at this point? If you think you're in danger, you need to go to try to obtain a protective order via a court. Thank you for your condolences, says OP. The detective told me to call the parole officer because it could have made the eviction process faster if the parole officer actually did anything. I presented him with evidence that he had been using and drinking and driving to prove that he's a danger to others, and he didn't do anything. It actually took him 4 days to even come over. I'll definitely go and get a protective order today. And that's all that we have of this story so far. If there is an update later, I'll post it on here. And our last story. Being sued for a car accident I was never in. Hello everybody. I got served last night, and the papers are saying that a woman who I don't know rear-ended someone in my car on 8/31st, 2018. This is where things get weird. They are saying that it was a 2006 Subaru Impreza, and I used to own a 2006 Subaru, but I sold it on the 4th of the 18th, 2018. The car I used to own is still owned by a close friend, and he has no idea who this woman is, and he has never been in an accident with the car either. Also, not sure if this matters, but on the summons, my name is stated with middle name first, and then first and last name. They also call the car 2 different names in the papers as well. One place says 2006 Subaru Impreza, and another spot says 2006 Subaru Impreza Envoy, which isn't even a real car. Any help is greatly appreciated, and as I would rather not be sued for something that I am not in no way involved in. Thanks. Edit. I talked to the insurance company, and as suspected, they cannot help me, as the car was no longer covered or owned by me at the time of the accident. The paperwork doesn't give VIN or any other identifying information about the car either. It's looking more and more like a scam. I have the company lawyer working on it, and he said he should be able to take care of it with a phone call. We'll update when it gets resolved. Thank you so much for all of your help, everyone. Alright, I think from that one we can conclude that it is just a fake summons. I'm not sure if they will update on this post, but anyway, if they do, I will cover it. That's all for today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed it, put a like up and help support the channel. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next episode. Have a good day, night, evening, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you later. Bye.